Your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Westbury residents have rallied together in what they're calling a David and Goliath battle against the proposed northern prison. A public protest attracting hundreds of people descended into chaos when the state government tried to defend its handling of the issue. It began with preaching to the converted.
It will divide my community.
A packed house of those against a proposed prison set to be built near the town. The pressure cooker boiled when state MPs had the floor.
When the attorney and her department made a decision on the
the council spoke on our behalf without our permission. How dare they do that?
Residents claim local consultation has been flawed, with the process only beginning after Birrelly Road was earmarked as the prison's preferred site.
There's been a lot of lies and deceit to get to this level. Someone represented the Mandurah Valley Council and said, Westbury, surely a council is meant to represent the people, and people never said to go and represent us. They went out and stated, here's an expression of interest, Westbury supports you. Well, that's crap.
The government's previously promised it'll bring jobs and investment for the town. Those arguments hardly washed with protesters.
They haven't spoken to us at all. They've just done a backyard deal as far as we're concerned.
On top of the emotional case could be a legal one too.
We're hoping to get enough in the kitty to pay consultants as we need them, and that will probably include legal consultants depending on how far we go.
The government declined an interview following the meeting, which had left no doubt they have a fight on their hands. A 44-year-old man is home safe and well after being stranded in bushland on the Tasman Peninsula for nearly 20 hours. Adam Thompson from Victoria called police early yesterday morning after straying from his friend's residence at Roaring Beach. After intensive air and land searches, he was located at Nubina around 9:30 last night after making contact with his family. Police say Mr Thompson didn't sustain any injuries. The state's wine industry is once again on top of the national stage, with a small Tasmanian winery taking out 4 prizes at a boutique show. Home Hill Winery scoring the top gongs for a 3rd year while still recovering from damage caused by bushfires.
A fountain of red flowing from this award-winning tipple, the standout Pinot Noir, one of 4 tasty Home Hill drops, scoring prizes at this year's Australian and New Zealand Boutique Wine Show.
Look, it's a passion. I think you've got to have passion for it to be recognised. They say Pinot is the holy grail of grapes. It's the wine the angels drink in heaven.
Taking home the 4 trophies out of 3,000 entries for the 3rd year in a row.
We were lucky enough to win the best Pinot, the best red wine of the show, and best estate-grown produced wine.
The popular vineyard, nestled within the picturesque hills of the Huon Valley, still getting back on its feet after losing 60 tonnes of fruit to smoke taint when bushfires tore through the region earlier this year.
It's a good position to be in with sales, but it's not that good when you don't have the product. We need enough wine for cellar door and restaurant to keep going for probably another 18 months before we produce the 019 or 2020 vintage.
The wines at Home Hill are only made from grapes grown here on the 11-hectare vineyard, a central part of the local business's philosophy.
We have depth, we have good colour, and our winemaker contributes to that. So it's not just growing the fruit, it's also the production in what happens in the winery.
Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
Young hockey fans had the chance to learn from some of the state's best today, with the Tassie Tigers holding a fan day. Whether they were rising stars or just having a go, the young players spent the day taking part in a number of different activities, all aimed at improving skills. The clinic also a vote of endorsement for the new Look Hockey 1 League, which is in its 1st year.
I remember when I was a little boy growing up and the Tassie Tigers came down and the men and the women held a few clinics. So I think to give back and hopefully encourage and inspire some of those kids is exciting.
We're just having a hit, trying to hit the cones that just having a go hitting some different strategies.
The clinic comes as the Tassie Tigers prepare to go head-to-head with Melbourne in Hobart tomorrow. Some of the country's brightest brains have been put to the test in the Tournament of Minds International Final today in Hobart. Around 600 students presenting their solutions to mind-boggling challenges, with the locals up against children from Hong Kong and New Zealand.
It's great for their cognitive processes, but it's also all about collaboration and team building, respecting other people's ideas, building on other people's ideas. It's a fabulous opportunity.
The tournament's been running since 1987. Tasmania's independent brewers have given a big cheers to the industry as part of the first annual Indie Beer Day. It was thirsty work for brewers around the country who raised a glass to recognise the importance and diversity of independent labels.
Most of the dollars that are made by your local brewery are kept in the local community. So jobs, money going back into local bits and pieces is really important. So it's imperative that people get out there and look for the independent seal and buy a local independent beer.
Tasmania boasts more than 30 independent breweries. The Hobart Hurricanes women's side has fallen 3 runs short in its WBBL clash against the Adelaide Strikers. Bowling first, the Hurricanes managed to restrict the Strikers to 113 runs. Nicola Carey then top scored for the Canes with 39 before being dismissed with 1 ball left in the innings. Maisie Gibson then needed at least a boundary to tie, but it wasn't to be. The Canes are back in action tomorrow against the Brisbane Heat. The Hobart Chargers has welcomed a new club president, with David Bartlett stepping down after 3 years in the role. It's been announced CEO of Mackay Timber, Brett Mackay, will take over the reins after being unanimously voted in last week. The change comes after the Chargers went into recess for the 2019 season, but they're now ready for a comeback next year. The outgoing president says he's happy to help hand over the top job.
It's time for a new plan, some new energy, a new fresh set of eyes, but I'll still be around the club. Generously, the board's invited me to be patron of the club.
Moving forward now into looking at the NBL for one, and WNBL once we get through there. But we need to be first and foremost getting back on the court, getting our supporters, our volunteers and our team sorted out.
The Chargers say more information will be announced next week regarding coaches, players and venues for the club. And the Hockeyroos are 1 step away from qualifying for next year's Tokyo Olympics. The Aussies defeated Russia 4-2 in Perth last night, with co-captain Emily Chalker bagging a double. The Hockeyroos take on Russia again tonight, and as long as they don't lose by more than 2 goals, they're off to the Olympics.
Good evening, everyone. Showers across the north and west today, spreading to most areas during the day. Hobart with the state's top of 17. That was shared with the Friendly Beaches and Campania. 15 in Launceston, while Burnie and Devonport reached 14. Elsewhere, it was 16 at Ouse, Smithton 15, King Island, Flinders, Grove and Strawn all 14, Low Head 13, Lyoweny 1 overnight, up to a top of 10 degrees today. Low-level convective cloud over the north and west, with thunderstorms to the east of the state. Further afield, and a cloud over Victoria is associated with a trough, thunderstorms over the Tasman Sea and northern New South Wales. On to tomorrow's chart, and a surface trough will sit west of Tasmania. A cold front remains over the Tasman Sea and extends a trough over inland Queensland. A high lies over the Bight. Coastal waters and west to northwesterly winds at 20 to 30 knots about the north and south. Swells to 4.5 metres in the west and south. And a strong wind warning is in place from Sandy Cape to St Helens Point for tomorrow, and from Wineglass Bay to Low Rocky Point. Sunday's forecast now: Hobart a shower or 2 and 16, Richmond 17, showers for Ouse 15 there. Launceston a shower or 2 and 17, 16 in Devonport, and Deloraine looking at 15. A shower for Burnie tomorrow 16, showers for Strawn and Curry 14 the top. St Helens and Swansea both looking at a shower in 17, and a shower possible for Whitemark 9 to 15 the range. To the 3-day forecast, and on to Monday, a mainly fine day with west to southwesterly winds. Tuesday showers developing about the west and south, but mainly fine elsewhere. And Wednesday morning showers for the south, but a fine day elsewhere. Capital cities tomorrow, and it's a sunny one for Perth, 34 degrees, Darwin 33, Brisbane 31, 23 in Sydney, 20 for Canberra, Adelaide cloudy and 19, and Melbourne a shower or two and 17. And right now it's 12 degrees in Hobart, mostly cloudy, Launceston 13 and partly cloudy, and Devonport 13 and mostly sunny. And Tom, that's the weather.
Thanks very much for that, Laura. Well, before we go tonight, we'll leave you with this. The moment adorable panda twins born in Germany open their eyes for the first time has been caught on camera. The pair was born at Berlin Zoo in August to 6-year-old Mengmen and only just managed to start blinking. The cubs have been built a new bed and will be on show for visitors at the end of the year. Very cute indeed. Well, that is all your news for now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening. Good night.